Welcome to Argon News Network, where we tell you what is happening. Welcome back, Argonisticians and Argonistas. We interrupt your regularly scheduled procrastination to bring you some breaking news. This is an Argon TV world exclusive. We have scooped every media outlet on the planet. You will only hear it here. Hollywood, the global entertainment hub, after seeing the meteoric rise and success of the Argon platform, there are dozens of us, literally dozens of us. So Hollywood has taken note and re-released an absolute banger, a legendary property of theirs exclusively on the Argon today. Yes, today only they have released it, and we're going to show you live. So let's switch over to the studio and get ready to witness history in the making. Oh, wait, we have to switch on the music. Very important to cue the music. Yep, you see, what could it be? It's an absolute classic, very 8-bit relevant. Haha! Yes, you heard it here first. Star Wars is being re-released on the Argon today, and you are watching it right now. We'll let that crawl along, and because Argon TV is not just about cheap visual tricks, it's that as well, but we actually do a little bit of coding here and there. Let's dive into what's happening here. So it's just 20 lines of basic, and the way this works, actually, originally this is a project called askimation.co.nz, goes back 10-15 years, where a gentleman with a lot of time on his hand basically coded Star Wars into this text file. Every frame is rendered as raw text. It's 13 lines times 67 characters, pure text, and this number you see in between the frames tells you how often a particular frame should be repeated, or rather how long it should be held. And that's a little trick we have there in the code, that first we read the scan lines basically into an array of strings, and then depending on how often we're supposed to read it, we print it and print it again. That means that the timing, each frame takes about as long because you're printing 12 lines. Now, beyond these cheap tricks, because this is actually completely utterly trivial, Loserbum Industries was interested in this project and supported it for a completely different reason. You will remember from our previous news flash, I was talking about Turbo Vega, the man who single-handedly wants to bring Rust into the Argon community, because why? Don't know. But anyway, as mentioned, he has written a set of utilities for BBC Basic on the Argon, allowing us to access much more than the 64 KB which come out of the box, up to theoretically 512. Your mileage may vary. And immediately the trolls and the naysayers and the YouTube comments and whatever say, why would you want that much memory? Well, if you'll notice, if we now go back to our animation, this thing is not super fast. And if you look at the code, there's no waits. This is going as fast as it can, right? And yeah, it might be the I/O, suspect it's the SD card. So how can we make it faster? Well, we're going to go and look at that right there in the code, because here is a more advanced version of this code, where we now are not just printing, instead of just printing to the screen, we're actually writing the writing to memory. So we're using all that sweet goodness, 300, 500 kilobytes of memory, and filling them with mostly spaces, because just strings. And as you can see, I'm doing hex 40, so 64. Every line gets its own 64 bit of memory, because hey, you have to do your own memory management. But just to show again that this is real, let's interrupt over here. New, and we're going to chain. What? Jump, there he is. He's not printing to screen anymore. He's writing to memory. and you can see he's counting up, started at 50,000 hex, and he's counting up, and for some reason at frame 60, all of a sudden he really kicks, he hits the speed, and here again at 100, it's way faster. So we're writing to memory, and of course the next stage, maybe in a future episode, we'll be reading back. Keep an eye on the GitHub, keep an eye on the YouTube, but I think you will agree that that is pretty awesome. So let us go back with that final piece of news, because no, it's just not one scoop, multiple scoops. So the premiere tonight, and tonight only, at 2100 Central European Time, at 2000, that's 8 p.m. UK time. You use Google to work out what that means in your part of the planet. We will be live streaming from this Argon the entire ASCII-mation, either the entire ASCII-mation until the 4 megabytes file runs out, or until the Argon crashes. We will be streaming that live. You just go to the Loserbum homepage, click on this live tab. If you go to loserbum.com, you can have the link to the Twitch, because we're trying to stream it on both. And there's an actual reason for the streaming rather than just getting views, is because so far, we have no idea whether this thing will play through to the end. And by streaming, don't have to record it locally. We have a thing, we can just scroll forward. Did it crash after 30, 60, 120 minutes, or is it going to go all the way to the end? So, you heard it. 2100 European, 8 p.m. tonight, in celebration of Intergalactic Workers' Day. Either tomorrow you have the day off, this is what you're going to use your evening with. If tomorrow you don't have the day off, well, at least you've got something nice to end the weekend. So, with all of that, I'm Loserbum, you're the internet, you're all a bunch of bloody legends, and I am out of here.